Hi, this is July 30th month end last session. So starting with 1 day time frame, I think we are near inflection point, very key important point. So from a daily point of view, so far it is able to break above resistance S11 S. These were supports now and then later acted as resistance as you can see. So it broke about S11 S10 and now it reached this level. Now this is a recalculated level. So I was working yesterday and trying to figure out what it is doing. The wave structure changes and some recalculation is needed. So before this call, I added this level. Now this level is little above higher than the S9. So you may say this is a revised S9 because of change in nature. Okay. Um, Now, what do we interpret? So first of all, this is a recovery attempt. This is not a recovery yet. This is a recovery attempt where this is the low and it is making higher lows. If you look at this is higher lows and also now make made higher high technically. So day hasn't closed, so we cannot say it has actually broken July 28th. Technically, you may say it is trying to break above. We have to wait for the day to close to see if it has made new high. So at this moment, but if you from high point of view, from a close point of view, yes, it has made new high. Okay. So when we talk about, I mean, yeah, I think from today point of view, my bad, it has made new high. Okay. So so this is very positive from a recovery attempt point of view. The big question is about the reversal. And to me, reversal requires much more higher level, which will see on the weekly chart or big stamp version, not on this one. But on this one, we can say that we can be bullish on a 1 day time frame once it breaks about today's high or 24,700 and keep this yellow level as a checkpoint, and then there will be one more level, ultimate level, which is around this level, 33k plus. But then there is a huge gap in between. So I think this is the key level in my point of view. This 24k range is the most important level, up to 26k. This particular range is the most important range. So if it is able to break above, we can be bullish. I mean, that's my point of view, because to me, this is also a good gain and we were expecting move up to this. Now, to be honest, this specific move is little more than what I was thinking. Okay, but as I said, if it continue to move up, we don't have to go against its nature and try to see, okay, is it trying to do something different? Because we cannot take the stand. I mean, we cannot stick to our stand if the price action is in the opposite direction. So here I was expecting a reaction and it did react, came down, but this is amazing recovery. Again, it tried to break above, but not quite, but then it got support at S10 yesterday. And now this is today's move. So today's move is looking good, but this is heavy resistance zone. So I would say I would I would not be very strong on a downside move at this moment and try to be open and see what it brings up. There are a few things that I'm observing, and I need a week, at least next week. Um, there are a few capital market specific charts that I track, and they are related to Bitcoin pricing and stock pricing. So I'm interested to monitor. I would like to see how they behave next week, right? So if they don't, I mean, if they don't move as I expect, then it will help Bitcoin. And in that case, Bitcoin should be able to resume or continue this move and try to go for higher level. So so far so good on one day. As I said, I'll highlight resistance. Each resistance is a checkpoint, and the way I position myself is each resistance. Let's say if we think so at this moment, I think that the long-term direction is still down. So this is a recovery attempt, as I mentioned earlier, and each resistance is a checkpoint. So if this is broken, we have to close the short. If we have open the short, and then reach when it reaches, then we can try again. But then if this is also broken, I don't think then it makes sense. So when I say close the short, means one may open a long and then again flip. So each resistance one could do the flipping part. I mean, this is one way to do trading. Another way is to be long and then work on the support. Means remain long, assume it will continue to go up, and then only close the long if, let's say, S10 is broken or S11 is broken or this is broken, depends, and it can be multiple stop losses, right? So depends on the entry point. So there are two approaches. So one trader would think that let me take advantage of this upside move, and if it is going up on a short-term basis, let me be long, but I'll get out below this support level. So that's the second strategy. The first strategy is someone who is long-term thinker, that long-term trend is still down. So I would like to short because the long-term trend hasn't changed. But if it continues to go up, one has to close it and then again short here, as I said, because resistance is a potential reversal point where it could go down, because this is not a height where we can say it's reversing. I'm talking about the weekly time frame, a long-term time frame. So that's first strategy. So depends on your style. You may go for it, because here I'm trying to highlight key resistance point and a support level where you could have a alert and decide what to do, right? Um, you may ask question after my analysis is complete, so I'm happy to answer any question. Okay, so this is low time frame of one day is quite of, I mean, it's not a trend level time frame. It's not an intraday, but one day is uh, short term. In crypto, it's very short term, because one day doesn't talk about trend. It has to be higher. So short term trend is up. The long term trend is still down. Okay, so this is progress so far on a one day time frame, and these are the key levels. Now I'll move to Bitstamp, and I'll change the view to line and zoom out to show you, because it gives you more clarity here. Okay, very simple chart, easy to understand. So we used to track this on a weekly, but this I'm keeping daily, because line chart can offer us clean view on a daily time frame. Okay, so this is a totally different point of view and a long-term point of view. Okay, the time frame is one day, that's all right, but the levels are from a weekly point of view. Now this, if you look at this ongoing wave, this is the downtrend I'm talking about, the red arrow. Okay, first leg attempt fail, second leg, and this is second ongoing attempt. In between, there could be attempt, like small attempts like this, and little consolidation like this. Similarly, little here, little here that you see. Let me zoom in. So during the down wave, there are few attempts, and this is a major attempt. Okay, major attempt. This is on a weekly time frame. If you look at daily, it seems that as if it's going to make a new all-time high, because that's I mean, if you track on a daily basis, then it's like higher lows and higher highs. From a measurement point of view, this was a resistance we called out, right? Social media was extremely bullish here, and we were saying not enough. See, it's not about taking hard stand. It's about recognizing the level where how much. So I give an analogy that when you shoot a rocket, the gravity act as a force which would bring down any object. So this is like a rocket launch. And if the rocket doesn't reach to certain height, and then it's not enough for it to go outer space. So similarly, if the bounce is not high enough or reaches to required height, it goes down. And this continues until it reaches to the required height. And each time TA has to calculate the required height. Okay, so it's not the same. As wave changes, the height has to be recalculated. So this is the anatomy at this moment. So this was the first major attempt, couple of months. People were very hopeful and then shot down. This is another one. People are bullish, people are hopeful, that they call bottom. And we are not saying it's not bottom. We cannot say that it's not bottom, but we can say it's not enough. There is a difference between saying this is not bottom and denying that whatever progress it's making it's of no use, or it's going nowhere. I wouldn't say that. It is making progress, it's positive, but it's not enough. So there is a difference between saying it's going to go down for sure, not like that. So but as far as trend is concerned, the trend is still down, and I would expect this is the key level from a weekly and also even 26 27K from a daily point of view. This is important. So this is on a daily time zone point, time frame point of view. This is a heavy resistance zone, which is also an extended support line, the white line that you see from the previous pattern, which was like a crown pattern, like on top, and then it went down. So this attempt is always like try to go and touch this line. So that's a typical behavior. Okay, if it is strong enough, it could reach this level, and that's why I added this as a neutral zone on a weekly time frame, right? So if it breaks about this, then it's good on a daily, but in short, it requires 32,500 to start a journey towards the new all-time high. So note my arrow starts here. So I'm on a weekly time frame. I believe that this trend hasn't broken, the downtrend hasn't broken yet, and it's still continuing. There are multiple ways to look at it. So this is one of the ways. Another simple way to look at and draw a simple trend line like this, a downtrend line. Okay, a downtrend line, maybe I should give a different color. The downtrend line also gives this level, because this is the high, this is the low, this is an attempt, this is another low. So this could go up to this. So don't be surprised if it goes up. As I said, this is totally okay. But if you're thinking that it's bottom, that's a premature thought, until it breaks about 32,500. Okay, so it's positive, but not enough. So very important to understand. And many people think about extreme. They are extremely bullish or extremely. I said you have to bullish on a time frame. So on a daily, it's bullish, it's going up. But on a weekly trend point of view, it's not bullish yet. It's attempting like it attempted here, but we cannot say it is bullish, or we can say it is far from trend reversal. It is far. So that's how it is. Okay, so this is very important to understand. If you understood this, at least, so because the big picture has to be understood. If you don't understand the big picture, people remain, I mean, people face huge shock, because they were like fully committed to the upside move, and then it's very hard for them to change the mind. Okay, so on a Binance chart, I gave you granular levels where you may have an alert. You could have an alert and say how it is doing, and then have a checkpoint. And this version you can refer from a long-term point of view, from a trend reversal point of view. So you have now two versions, very simple. So as you could see, because on a daily time frame it's going up, right? The alts are going up naturally. I mean, most of the alts will make progress, no doubt about it. So Filecoin is today's star. Filecoin was silent. Every week I said there is going to be some coin, right? Last 2 weeks ago, Matic was the superhero. Ethereum was a superhero. Last week we saw a few coins went up, right? This week we are seeing Filecoin, at least today, from is going up, right? FTM is making good progress. Even last week it made good progress, and so on. So alt would love it. Alt would outperform Bitcoin during this phase, because alt would go down only if Bitcoin goes down, and they will go down faster, as you know, right? So whatever, I'm not posting any alt, because as I mentioned, if Bitcoin is not going down, that means anything that you pick up from active list is good. As you could see, everything is green. So whatever you pick is good. It doesn't matter. You don't ask me for the resistance. You ask me for the resistance during the uptrend. Remember, so this is very important point to be clarified. People would be asking, what is the resistance? Don't ask me that. Why? Because the resistance doesn't matter in the recovery process. Okay. It is good as long as BTC is good. Remember, this is a difference. When you are on an uptrend, it's a different thing. When you are on an uptrend, this is uptrend. It started from March 2020 until this. When you are here, you ask for resistance. It makes total sense, because asset or coin would be making new highs, so you wouldn't know where it is going to react, right? Here, it's not a question, because they have prior support and resistance. So we are going to go through. I'm not going to skip it. So you may refer that, but if you don't want to even refer that, just refer Bitcoin, because when Bitcoin stops, they are going to stop. So don't look for resistance. They are good as long as Bitcoin is good. That's why I always pay more attention to Bitcoin, because this is not where it is making new high from a trend point of view. This is a recovery process. So there is a difference, and it is very important to understand. And that's the reason why I'm not posting anything for alt, except few ad hoc coins apart from this active list. So when Bitcoin is doing good, like today, don't ask me. You pick up anything, it's going to fly. Yeah, percentage wise, here and there, but more or less everything will go up without any doubt. Okay. But that's for short term, and as long as BTC is good. As long as you know that it's good. As I mentioned, different people have a different strategy. Recently, I would open something and close before I go to the bed, because I don't know. I don't want to put stop loss. If I gain 5, 10%, 15%, whatever, I am happy and close my trade. That's how I've been doing. So, and from a long-term point of view, I would be shorting if I have ability to short, but because I don't, so I would go long, but for short term, like for a day, maybe in a rare case 2 day, that's it, and then close it. I'm not trying to be greedy here. This is like not a advice, but sharing what I've been doing. because a big picture I have in mind, and I said, okay, this is short-term move, moving for 5-10%. I'm happy, book profit. Don't worry. I mean, every day 2%, even 2% is big enough. 5% is even good. 10% is excellent. What do you want in life if you get around 2 to 5% daily gain? Nothing else, because you will end up with 50-60% in a month. I mean, I don't expect you win everything, but even if you get 20% in a month in in a bear market like this, it's amazing. So sometimes I feel that people try to do overdo and try to be aggressive. I say I take different stand. I say just be happy with small gain in this phase. If you get a big one like Filecoin, like 24%, amazing. But it doesn't mean that it is going to change the change the trend. No way. So we're going to see. So short term good, daily wise, time frame point of view, it's good. I mentioned on the Binance chart. Some of you just joined, so you may refer my recording, but have a quick look at this. So these are the levels. You could have a checkpoint. Today's high is a checkpoint. Then the next range is 25 to 25,500 to 26K is a range. This is a checkpoint. So this is likely to reverse from here. If not, it is likely to reverse from here. If not, then it is going to go higher, much higher. So then 28K plus or 34 kind of a range. Okay. So that's my take. There's nothing much in between. So this is another thing I would like to show you. This is like technical stuff. I'll pause for a moment, bring up. Okay. So this is volume profile. So this is another end point of view. Very interesting point of view, very different. So whatever I said, you can think that as one way to look at things, and this is another way. Now, this was a heavy resistance zone, and then provided support. And then if you look at the point of rejection was also, this is a huge cluster, huge volume it built up. So the next one is here. So from volume point of view, I'm just talking about volume. Okay, earlier everything was price, wavelength, everything. Whatever I'm going to say now is nothing to do with price. It's all about volume. So this is a totally different point of view. It's not about trend line. It's nothing about measurement of a wave. It's nothing about price action. It's totally it's everything is about volume here. So huge volume provide this support. Now the next one is this, means starting it could go up to 28K as for the volume. Okay, this could touch 28K, and the range is this.
Yeah, have a look at the, we can't see anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope it's good.
Yep.
Okay. So if you look at, so from the volume point of view, it has broken a key level, or breaking at least today. Today is the important day. So this is an edge. This is an edge. If it has to break above, it has to. So if it is able to break above today's high, then of course, starting from 26K, it is going to have a major resistance, another cluster. So starting from, so this level, this range gives the move. In fact, this is in line with what I said here on this version up to 26K. But I don't want to mix up, as I mentioned, because this is different methodology. Right. So there is a void here. There's a void here. So this could give a bounce, but this is an edge. And up So if it breaks above, it could go up to 26K from this point and then up to 28K. And then this could be its peak height. But all the way up to 32K, there's resistance. So yeah, 26K, and then peak is 28, 29K, maybe 30K. And then after that, little lesser, and then 32K plus is again opportunity. And as I mentioned, 32,000 plus, around 32K, 33K. If it is able to break above, then we are talking about new all-time high. Of course, there is going to be one more at 38K, probably from a volume point of view, but that's it. That's the last one. So this is one way to look at it. Okay, but this is the most important. So this is from a volume point of view, this is a good news because all the hard work is done, and what today's move is actually is telling is the exit level from this cluster, which is very encouraging, right? So I thought maybe I'll share something new this week. Okay, back to our usual update. Now I'll go 3-day time frame. Okay, 3-day time frame, and then start with alpha and start in alphabetical order. Or should I? No, I think I should stick to weekly. And I think we'll also go through month end because it's a day, yeah, July end. So we should also look at month end. Okay. Atom, same as last week. AVAX still trying to regain its last week's level, which is okay. BNB did well this week. You can see the progress well within the box, good progress, but not enough. So back to its last week's high. Doge is much better today, still below last week's high. DOT is much better today, but still within this range, as you could see. EGLD, not bad today, but well below last week's high. So this is a range bound, very narrow range bound. ETC not doing much today. It's on edge, which is interesting. So this week it tried to break above. Actually, this should have been like this, with this high. This is one of the strongest coins. Yeah, maybe this is good one. Yeah, this is one of the strongest coins, as you know. So this is good. Filecoin woke up after long hibernation. People are amazed why 27%. It's the why question has no answer. It also moved by this. Look at this one. So this move, I'm not discouraging anyone who is pumped up with this move. I'm not discouraging, no way. But one of the followers on Twitter asked me, what happened to Filecoin? I mean, what happened? I mean, people are buying. What happened? When it was going down, what happened? I mean, it's a what happened if you're not going to get answer. People are buying, people are pumping, and sometimes these are technical moves because it cannot keep on going down like this. So here on this week, it moved up around 38%. And this week, it is more or less the same, 30-40% move, 49-50%. Wow, good. So it's not a question, and it is not the first time. This one even higher. So percentage doesn't tell anything. This was 70%. What happened after that? It went down. So I'm not trying to discourage. At the same time, the question of why it is happening is useless to me. What the is it positive? Of course, it's positive. Is it high enough? Of course not. It's nothing. I mean, this is nothing in a big scheme. So is it discouraging? Of course not, but one cannot just assume. This is like, understand the wave here. This is a major downside wave. Then an attempt, another one. This is consolidation. This is not even an attempt. This is just consolidation and then broke down. So we have, I could extend to this. So even if it touches this one, and I think I shared the 04, I don't know when. So it may touch this one easily or try to come close, but this is nowhere near any level. Even if so, it has to really go past $20 for me to to be interested in this coin. From a trend reversal point of view, it has to break about 30 plus for it to reverse the trend. So forget about trend reversal. If you are getting 24%, just do party and be happy about it. If it moves even 20% more, okay, there is a reason, but this is no way near the trend reversal. So nothing to be discouraged here, but nothing to be jump around. Right, so this is good. Flux is, it's consolidating. Okay, good progress, new high compared to previous week, which is positive. FTM, this is its range. This is a strong coin, as we know. It did amazing job. And but in this bear market, it could do total reversal. Could do total reversal, and I'm highlighting this. Okay. And I'm going to keep this chart. So this is a replica, and I created a mirror image basically. This is a high. This is double top. This high is a reflection of, yeah, mirror image of this. This height, it may go up to this. This may, or maybe up to this. It's not necessarily. So it could be up to this or this. For now, I'm going to keep up to this. But still, that is not enough. So it has to break up S2. Then, yeah, we can say now it wants to resume. This is nowhere near a reversal. Positive, yes. Reversing, no way. Not yet. Nothing negative about it, but it's the reality is it's not enough. Right. So if the trend continues, this is the next major block, which is going to be the mirror image of this. And this is a center line, as you could see. We are not going to, and then it could come up to this level, right? And reset everything that it has done. And this is far-fetched. I wouldn't talk, but this is still on the table. This green is also on the table. If it breaks above this, for now, I prefer this. But if it breaks above this block, then okay, I will say fine. Then it could go up to S2. But that S2 will be the checkpoint. And then if it breaks above S2, then I'll say, okay, I'm removing these lines. Until then, it stays. Okay, Gala. Not bad. It made a new low, so I'll just make this little adjustment, nothing much. Yeah, this is consolidated. This is a week. So today is good, but not enough on a weekly time frame. You never know. If it continues to make progress, then it's good. So I would say much better week than previous few weeks. So this is positive start. So we can say this is a positive start. HND trying to recover, which is positive. So this is also positive, but as you could say, it's still below the previous week. So it has to do more work here. KCS, trying to touch the yellow line again, which is a typical behavior. And then if it fails to, so I should draw a box here. I should have drawn. So this is the box. If it is able to break about 11.23, let's say, then it's positive. If it is able to break our S2, then it goes for a new high, okay? So this is, it has to enter into this yellow line, but then ultimately break over S2. If it is able to break over S2, we can say now it wants to make new high. So this is still not enough, that point of view. I'm not trying to puncture your enthusiasm. Okay, so this is, you can say nothing much. KDA, nothing much, flat, right? Flat. If you look at this is a range, I have this range, flat. Link did well, right? Did it, but still it's in this cluster. Not bad. Not bad, but not enough. Yeah, it has to break about 19. Okay. I'm giving approximate level. As they come close to, I'll give you more accurate. Right now, I'm giving more accurate number for BTC, but I'm not going to do for 30 odd coins. So I'm giving you approximate level. Okay. But if they come close to that approximate level, then I'll give you more accurate number, right? Because then I'll have, right now, I don't want to work on something which is far, right? It doesn't make sense. But at the same time, you should know that how much ground it has to cover before we can say it is going for new all-time high. Because ultimately your goal is to come out of this downtrend, right? So I would say somewhere here, it has to be 21 plus. LTC got this, got the bounce. This was the support, earlier support. It went down and got support here. If you look at it closed, which is positive, right? Yeah, so we don't have a box for it. And we could have a box like this, okay? So if I would be interested if it breaks above S2, but I would draw this, extend this line somewhere. It has to be somewhere 120 plus. Then we can say, okay, that's something good. And ultimately it has to break above 170 plus for the trend reversal. But even if it lands in this area, 120 plus, then it's encouraging. So this is still an attempt, recovery attempt. Okay. But as I said, one can have a short-term advantage, and provided you keep an eye on BTC. If you keep an eye on BTC and take advantage of this, it's totally all right. Luna, nothing much. Not interested. I'm just keeping it to keep an eye because it could make a wild move. And so maybe one wild coin is okay to have. MANA, not bad. If you look at this is much better, but still within a consolidation zone. So if it breaks above this, then it's encouraging. A mana has to break above S2 for it to do. Even if you draw this simple trend line, we can say at least it has to break this trend line for us somewhere here. If it lands, a trend reversal requires this much. So this is, so up to this is nothing, regular. About this is encouraging, and about this is trend reversal. Matic, Matic did amazing job. It has reached to where I was talking about mana, the trend line, right? So this is all. So it's trying to break above. So this is a borderline case. I don't want to change a lot. This is a borderline case. And if I extend this very important level. So if it is able to break above the red line, then it's very encouraging. And if it is able to break above S1, then we can say new all-time high is coming. So Matic is one of the coins which is known for its major moves, and it has shown that. But we could see for last 2 weeks, it's not as strong as other or not itself. But nevertheless, it's one of the strongest one, no doubt about it. One is much better this week, but well within the range. This has to be, it has to cover a lot of money here, huge, because this is a major, one has to think that, see, this asset or any coin cannot just go down endlessly. It has to bounce. This was a massive drop without any green candle. So even this is green, this is not a higher green. So green, just not from color point of view, it has to break above previous high. So if even this was green, it was not able to break above this. Even these are green, it closed here, not quite able to break above. So this is still a very shallow bounce and a massive drop. If you look at from a percentage point of view, a massive drop, like a 90% drop, massive drop, right? So if this coin bounces even up to this, no one should be surprised, because that's totally normal. But one should not be misunderstood that this is, yeah, one can take advantage. Let me take this one here, and I put a stop loss here, which is totally fine, because this is a support. Let's say this is a candle support, and then try to, but then this is always this is pretty deep, 22% deeper. You need to have this kind of a stop loss, because you see the range here. So if you put any stop loss less than this, it is going to take your stop loss. So refer my best practices if you want to, and try to see how you can size it. Size is the way to manage risk. Then you may take it if you want to, right? That way. So short-term point of view, but remember, any 10%, 15% stop loss is not going to work in this environment. They are going to take up. You will be stopped out easily. Probably you would have experienced. I don't have to say that. So stop loss is important, but it doesn't work. So you have to manage with sizing. Yeah, alts they move. Alternatively, you trade only BTC. That's another way, because then you have more precise level. Okay, so talking about RNDR, much better, better than last week on recovering, but still it has to break about this, right? And ultimately, if it breaks about this orange, then I'll say, okay, now that's positive. And if it breaks about 3.5, then we can say it wants to reverse. Sand is near this one. Okay, not bad. It has to be here for it to reverse 4.2. This bounce could go all the way here, and that is still not enough, right? So this is positive. So far so good. SKL positive, bounce of the support, which is good. Nice looking candle. But it has to be, this required level is here. I haven't changed, but I have a required level. But if this coins start making progress, then I'll change the required level. These are old required levels. So maybe for some coin they are still valid, but for some coin they are not. I'll revise them, but I'm not in hurry to revise them, as I mentioned, because for me, unless and until BTC breaks about 26K, why to change anything, right? Consider as short-term move. So that's why I'm not moving. It's not that I'm lazy, but I don't want to do rework. SOL, not bad. It's extending. So this is good. Orange level is the range. And then a checkpoint. Then above 85 is the required level. Okay, so that ends the active list. So I would, in summary, I would say you can go through the Bitcoin analysis that I shared if you join late. Okay, and that's the most important one. Short term, it's going up. When the Bitcoin is going up or flat, alt would go up. That means anything that you take from this basket, it's going to work, right? Because they have, that's the whole intention. We have pretty good coins. You don't need a lot of coins. Yeah, this is like 30 plus coins. If you have Spectrum, that is also a good list, but the active list is a better list. So you have enough choices in my point of view, and it has few coins which are like fast moving coins and good mix. I don't think, unless you are online, if you see something personally, you may try it, that's a different thing. But from my point of view, this is a recovery process where you may play around with these coins, in my opinion, because these are not bad like that yet. If some of them are really moving fast, so it's not that all of them are very slow. Anyway, so in summary, this is important week to start. I mean, the coming week. And I think, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are a few macro capital market specific numbers or charts that I'm watching very carefully. And those are drivers, the real drivers. So I'm going to get more clues next week. So I'll update them. So next week is going to be very interesting, very, very interesting from even stocks point of view. And everything is near resistance. Index, you talk about key stock index, other commodities are near support. And everything is like, this is like inflection point. 1 week, 2 week, here and there, inflection point where it's going to kind of set a direction. I'm talking about capital market. It could recover fully. That people talk about recession and all, but technically speaking, the chart is telling that it is they have reached at a point where it could change the game and surprise everyone. So, but they are not there yet. Okay, they are not there yet. So very interesting. So big picture is still dark. Short term, we see some light, but not we are not through the tunnel yet. Okay, we see the light through the tunnel, but we are still in it. Okay, so be careful, very careful. Anything that you do, think from a short-term point of view. And if you're thinking that I'm going to buy and lock up and relax because it has bottom, probably that is going to be the biggest mistake of any traders. Okay. And if someone is thinking that it's never going to recover and let me put everything in and short, that person is going to also regret, because those points that I mentioned need to be remembered and need to do the risk management. But yeah, as I said, you can close and reopen, close and reopen. You can do that for a while, right? So that's an approach. Let me know if you have any question. Okay. Yeah, I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. And probably this is very important session, and next 1 week or maybe 2 weeks, we should be able to know where it is heading. You never know, it may happen on Monday also. Okay. So I'll anyway stop the recording here and open for your question if you have any.